This is a sloth. Sloths are primarily folivores, feeding mostly on leaves, fruits, and sap of various trees. They have a large and efficient multi-chambered stomach that helps with digesting tough, fibrous leaves. They also spend their time mercilessly murdering college girls in sorority houses. Now, I want to talk about this movie that might have flown under your radar on its release. I'm a fan of horror movies, and good ones are hard to come by, you know? You really gotta dig through the bunch of crap that's out there to find something good. And especially in recent years, there's been a lot of milking of franchises that have worked. And there's nothing worse than over-milking the cow, even if the cow enjoys it. So when this horror movie came along, which is definitely more of a horror comedy, it was a nice break from horror movies that take themselves too seriously but don't really offer much. I mean, this show definitely doesn't take itself seriously, and it toes the line of that so bad it's good genre, and I'm all here for it. So, Slotherhouse. No subtleties with the title wordplay. It's about a killer sloth. And if you look up the movie, you'll see a whole range of reviews, most of them unfavorable. Ultimately, if a fun movie to watch with friends that is super over the top and parodies loads of horror movie tropes and is kind of in that so bad it's good genre is something that's up your alley, then Slotherhouse should be your next watch. I'll do my best to leave any key spoilers out. It's a movie about a killer sloth. This isn't Tenet. It should be fine. The opening scene shows us the majestic sloth in all its glory. And I mean, just look at this thing. Yes, they use a puppet for the sloth and it looks like that, and we'll get more into that later. But it doesn't do what you think a sloth will do. It straight up kills an alligator. Yep, straight away, this is what we're getting into. Despite its ability to do that, it got caught lacking and it got tranquilized and poached. We're then introduced to Emily Young, who is a senior at university and has ambitions to be elected president of her sorority. But she needs to up her popularity game. She meets a man at a shopping mall through a really weird random event of saving a dog from getting hit by a child. They take a selfie together and exchange social media handles, and when she looks him up, she sees a video of the sloth. Eventually the man sells it to her by saying it will boost her social media followers. So eventually she takes the sloth, names him Alpha, and decides to use Alpha as a mascot for her campaigns to help her win. What made her take a selfie with that man in the first place? How will a sloth help with your social media account? Why am I asking these questions in a movie about a killer sloth?
Hey, if we're underwater, how could there be a...
Just turn your brain off, trust the production, and enjoy the ride. So the sloth purchase worked. Emily is gaining more popularity than ever at a sorority. But little did she know, this ain't a Zootopia sloth we're talking about here. This guy's more on that Freddy Krueger type beat. So what happens next is a series of murders done by the sloth, each upping the ante in its ridiculousness. And along the way, playing homage as well to some horror movie classics like The Shining and Gremlins, while also parodying loads of horror movie tropes. Like, that's not a man in the shower with a knife, it's a sloth with a loofah. It's so stupid, but it's really fun. And I mean, for me, there's so much to love about this movie. Like, the premise itself, I think, is hilarious. Like, making a murderer out of an animal that got Sir David Attenborough to sound like my primary school bully.
This extraordinary creature is half blind, half deaf, and this is just about as fast as it can move.
I think it's brilliant. Let's go back to the actual physical sloth used in this movie. Yes, it's a puppet and it has its limitations in the way it moves, but I think it adds to the overall tone of the movie, and man, it just makes things weird and funny at the same time. Like, I'm glad they didn't use CGI, which is what some of these kind of movies tend to opt for. It's also a nice little throwback to how these creature features used to be made back in the day. And all the sounds that the sloth makes were done by this dude.
My name is Rudy Rock and I'm a voice artist from Helsinki, Finland. It was so interesting when Brad and Katie approached me about this project. I feel that the more they explained about the storyline and the concept, the more excited I got about it.
Man, and I would be too if I got asked to do a project like this. Shout out to you, Rudy Rock. Great performance, man. The acting in the show is actually pretty good all around. I say actually because Mr. Wiseau tends to be the face of this kind of genre.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
But this is where I think Slotherhouse differs from things like The Room. I feel like it's in between scary movie and something like Zombievers. Like I mentioned, towing that line of so bad is good, but also having the self-awareness and decently high production value. And right from the get-go, camp is already very apparent as the tone of this movie. And being set in a sorority, all these high school drama archetypes are really played to their limit. And sometimes it can be quite in your face. There's like the queen bee, mean girl character. There's like the wannabes who are like in her circle. And then there's like this jock comedic relief type character. I want to give that one a special mention because that one felt particularly in my face. This character, Zenny, is played by the actress Bianca Beckles-Rose, and man, she goes like 200% to play this hyper masculine lesbian jock type character. She says the most broed out, like out of pocket and trying to be out of pocket type shit you'd hear. It does get a bit annoying sometimes. And I'm not blaming the actor entirely on this. I mean, clearly she went for it and the director okayed it. So in acting, you make strong choices, and that was a strong choice. But yeah, in a movie where everything is so over the top, this sticking out, I guess, really says something. I want to give props to the lead actor who played Emily. Her name is Lisa Ambalavinar, and she does a great job in staying grounded in her own truth through all the ridiculous circumstances of the movie, which, you know, made it more fun to watch overall and made the things that happen around her even more funny. I also want to give props to the actor who played the character Madison. Her name is Olivia Royer? Not sure how to say her last name. Because she's in a scene where I thought, might actually be kind of hard to act in this. I mean, look, in a well-written and serious show, all the circumstances are there that will keep you grounded and maybe make it a bit easier to link the thoughts in your head. But here, staying in it would be really difficult for me. Or at least I need to cut a lot of times because it's just too ridiculous. I think it's easier to just show you the scene I'm talking about, and it also give you more of an idea of what the show is like. I mean, to play genuine fear in that scene, I think it's great. So amongst all of this, Slotherhouse also still manages to fit in some messages in its storytelling, which include the ramifications of social media. And yes, this is a message that's definitely run its course through the years, especially prior to the release of this movie in 2023. But I still found it kind of cool that the narrative of the show wasn't completely pointless and there was some kind of moral or lesson to be learned from the story. And there's also messages of the harmful effects of poaching and what that does to the environment as well, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, even with these messages interwoven into the story, the whole narrative kind of takes a backseat. And what of course you're more interested in is the antics of the sloth and the killings and how it just ups in ridiculousness each time. It's such a wacky ride and it's such a good time watching it with my friends. I just want to give the movie its flowers. It's self-awareness, it's parody, it's satire, it's homage to horror movie classics, just makes this a really enjoyable experience. I don't really have a rating system for movies, but I would give it 4 sloth toes out of 5. Really good. So grab a drink, or 5, and your friend or whoever's next to you, and just enjoy watching this stupid, fun movie. That would definitely be a great time. And I did enjoy this movie so much that I actually, well, okay, I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, I bought the official movie merch. And this was a $42 t-shirt because it had to be delivered to Singapore. Of course, by the end of the movie, my friends and I were rolling on the floor with laughter and with drunkenness. So this was definitely a purchase under the influence. Definitely not my smartest purchase, but you know what? I don't regret it. I'm happy to support this production for an awesome movie that my friends and I still talk about till today. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you're gonna watch Slotherhouse, or maybe if you have watched it, let me know your thoughts on it too. I hope I put you on for your next movie night. I can subscribe to the channel, but only if you wanna. I'm not your mother. I'm Dennis. See ya.